You know how I lost my mind last week over a clip of Rogan putting up a chart on his screen and reading it wrong and giving Trump credit for something that is a Biden era accomplishment? Well, Dave Rubin, another MAGA guy, covers Joe Rogan covering the chart. And so I am obligated to cover Dave Rubin covering Joe Rogan cover the chart. Because it's getting insane that people who have big audiences, obviously Rogan much bigger than Rubin, but aren't able to read a basic visual portrayal of data. So I'm pretty sure in this clip you'll have Dave Rubin teeing up the clip we covered of Rogan, and then he'll discuss the chart. So stick around, watch this. These are grown adults who are making a pretty bold claim, which is Trump extrajudicially killing people. Excuse me, just had to get the word right. Sorry, that was weird. Extrajudicially killing people in boats is causing a plummet in drug overdoses, despite the math of that not really making any sense. But the data they put on screen to try to substantiate that actually proves they should be crediting a little man by the name of... It's Joe Biden. Thank you, Jaden. Sometimes...
You're the loser.
Okay, let's watch.
That the drug boats are being blown up and the signal has been sent and we have closed the border. Well, guess what? Deaths by overdoses are dropping significantly. Here's a little known podcaster, Joe Rogan.
Oh, funny. That's funny.
Podcaster Joe Rogan talking about that.
From the time Trump's been in office, deaths by overdose have dropped off a cliff. Look at that. Look at 2024. And leading into 2025.
Just
look
going down.
These are all deaths from overdoses. I mean, that's kind of crazy. Like, look at that. From all drugs, which is the top one, look at that drop. I mean, that's crazy. So you see the peak was in 2022, or it looks like actually 2020, between 2023 and 2024. That's the peak where people are dying. And then from the time Trump's in office, it's taking a sharp downturn.
So I'm going to explain it for the podcast listeners why this is so insane. But Rogan, I've said before, has so much money, audience. He could hire a few people to try to fact check while he's talking. I know Jamie's supposed to, but clearly not always. So right now you have Rogan looking at this chart, Jamie looking at the chart, whoever Rogan's guest is looking at the chart, Dave Rubin looking at Rogan looking at the chart, and Dave Rubin's producers looking at Dave Rubin looking at Rogan looking at the chart. And none of them can figure out why what they're saying is wrong. That's pretty crazy. How many people does it take to put in a light bulb? You know, like one of those references. How many people does it take to put looking at an OD chart? So I'll say it now and then we'll watch Rubin. This chart ends in 2024. This chart ends before Trump gets into office. I'll show you the exact date when the data ends in a second. Oh, wait. It's on the chart. October 2015 to October 2024. Trump was not president until January of 2025. And if you might go, well, whenever Trump, they'll sometimes do this whenever you catch them and stuff like this. Well, whenever Trump got elected, drug overdoses started plummeting because people said, Trump's going to be president, just like the stock market. So now I won't do drugs. And this was before even the election, so you couldn't even go with that. So now with that context in mind, let's watch.
And why is that? Well, part of it is because they're blowing up these boats that are bringing in all the drugs.
Yeah. You don't have to be a political scientist to figure it out. So when did...
Well, maybe you do. Maybe you do have to be a political scientist. Oh, wait, I'm not. And I figured it out. I figured out that maybe you're wrong. Maybe this has to teach you something about your ideology when it comes to Biden. And there were real steps that were taken. And they might go, but it spiked a lot under him. Look at this big spike at the end of Trump. Huge spike at the end of Trump at drug overdoses. In 2020, you see, let's get our years straight. 2020, Trump's last year in office. But you might go, but the pandemic, totally. That's totally an exacerbating factor, which is why you saw that continue throughout Biden, just like all these other factors the pandemic spiraled off. Then, as things were recovering, a lot of progress started being made. And they're crediting Trump with that without, I don't even think if they saw that this actually, that they were reading this wrong, that they would adjust their conclusion at all. And we might see this trend continue into Trump, and I hope that we do. That maybe 2025 we'll see even more plummeting in those overdose death rates. But wow, I'm scared. I'm scared that we can all be looking at the same thing and be reading different, not different, one right and one wrong conclusions.
All the drugs.
Yeah, you don't have to be a political scientist to figure it out. So when did this all peak? I'm shocked that the drug overdose situation peaked in 23, 24 as Joe Biden had let all of these people in. And now from the graphs, for those of you on audio podcast, what you're seeing there is just a massive drop off that starts basically at the beginning of last year. And who took the oath of office about a year ago right now? Yes, it was Donald Trump. But it also further exposes the ridiculousness of the conventional politicians.
Click the subscribe button while I sit here and think. Let's all think together and click the subscribe button. But click the subscribe button. But mostly do the thinking and also click, okay. So I saw this. I don't know why he can't do this or one of his producers. You see the chart? You see how you can kind of see the words right here? What I did just to make sure we were right, because these can be confusing. Let's just be nice. This could be confusing. You could say, oh, I thought that they were doing like this dot was the overall for the year and it represents the whole year of 2024, and then this represents the whole year of 2025, as opposed to it showing you the progression throughout the year. You could get confused. So on Rogan's that he put up there,
for those of you on audio podcast, what you're seeing there,
there's a title. So I searched the title, found the chart, right? This is pretty impressive stuff. I majored in political science. Still haven't finished. And I still got it. So look at this. Ready? Security check. Okay, we'll do this. Security check. This is like Michael. All right, we're going to open PowerPoint. We're going to sign up. And it tells you October 5th, 2015 to October 2024. And then he goes, look at it. Just look at it. Look at it. Right when Trump gets into office, like not realizing. I get it too, because we say the 2024 election. I'm being kind of rough on them because they have staffs. I'm not judging any of you if you glanced at this and went, whoa. Because our brains go the 2024 election, and you kind of can easily flip that over to believe that's when Trump became president as opposed to 2025 after the election in November. I actually get how you could get mixed up totally, but how multiple people with multiple staffs could get this mixed up after it was already called out online, after Pam Bondi already had to delete this same chart. That's when it starts annoying me, because a lot of people are being misled. Now, Dave Rubin has been up to no good on many topics. Here's him saying, this isn't a regime change war for oil so much as it's a effort at hopefully adjusting a regime, and maybe oil benefits come from it.
I don't know what he's saying. This sounds from many media-hyped 28 contenders. Are you talking about on the Democrat side? I'm not really sure what you're saying there. But regime change war for oil. Well, we already played you several clips of Rubio laying out and Trump talking about the new Trump corollary to the Monroe Doctrine, where we're going to take care of business in our hemisphere. Do we need the oil? Are we going to steal the oil from the nation? I don't think so, actually. I think what we're going to do is, over time, there's going to be a more friendly American administration there that will be better for the people of Venezuela, and then maybe there'll be things that will be done with the oil. But they want, you could read that tweet and say, is that coming from Tucker on the right, or is that coming from Ro Khanna on the left? And that is the horseshoe theory.
So it's not a regime change war for oil. It is a military action that hopes to install a more friendly administration or regime, and maybe oil things will come of it. That's almost as ridiculous as this one for Mike Johnson.
Some of these things were discussed in the skiff. I want to say that the way that this is being described, I think, is accurate. This is not a regime change. This is a demand for change of behavior by a regime.
Wow. That one is good. This is not a regime change. This is a demand for change of behavior by a regime. What happens if they don't change their behavior? Oh, wait, we already found out. You changed the regime. And of course, you have all these clips of all these people mere months or weeks ago being like, I'm not for regime change wars.
I'm not calling for regime change. I don't know what that is, what that actually would entail. And generally speaking, when you try to change the regime in another country, it doesn't work out that well. It did not work out well for us in Iraq. It did not work out well for us in Libya, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want adventurous wars. I don't like regime change or any of those things. We did those things for years, largely did not work out well. A certain set of people, again, a sliver of these people on the right, but they're very loud online, who are like, oh, we're going to invade Venezuela and it's regime change and all of these things. We basically...
All these people are saying, oh, we're going to invade. Isn't that not what just happened? Total miscellaneous. You have a new fact sheet from the CDC where they had to put not the Onion. You can put this up, Jane. Specifying that this is not a satirical headline. HHS website says all the diseases will still be available to anyone who wants them. Ensures that all diseases covered by the previous immunization schedule will still be available to anyone who wants them through the Affordable Care Act. So that, I mean, hey, they're making steps to try to make diseases more affordable. And that is obviously a typo, but absolutely insane. And can I please, Jaden, will you give me permission?
Or
can we please hear what he meant here by we're going to have all diseases covered in the ACA?
or who are collecting who are collecting social security, or collecting workers' compensation.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out, but we'll see. Okay? That work with you? Yeah? Good? Okay. All right.